Welcome to the Potent Mind, where curiosity meets clarity. Ever feel like your brain has a mind of its own? Here, we explore how attention works, why it drifts, and how to train it back, gently, powerfully, and on purpose. It's not about fixing your mind, but learning to work with it. Let's get started.
Everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Jesus. Luke 14:11. If our perceptions are accurate, then our emotions are probably justified. However, our perceptions aren't always accurate. They're clouded by our years of programming and biases by our parents, peers, teachers, clergy, media, and government, to name a few. For most of us, our biases and judgments are so much a part of us that we don't see them. In addition to what's being put into our head by others, our thinking is strongly skewed by the meanings and beliefs that we came up with to interpret what happened to us along the way. As a child, we feel rejected at some point, and we think it means that we're not good enough, or that we don't belong. To a child, the world is black and white. You're good or bad, okay or not okay. These childhood interpretations and beliefs stick. They tend to run our life behind the scenes, causing us to shoot ourselves in the foot repeatedly. It just becomes part of our normal thought process. I'm different. I have to prove myself. Am I normal or not? In this childhood world, there's obsession about whether we're good enough or worthy, and whether other people will approve of us or not. There is often a deep fear of abandonment by others and winding up alone. It is a world governed by insecurity and anxiety, which can spin off all types of defense mechanisms, compulsions, avoidances, and distractions. We have all kinds of thoughts going through our mind all the time. But when those thoughts are about judging, I'm good or bad, someone else is good or bad, why things are the way they are, these kinds of thoughts are coming from our inner child, our emotional mind, which is highly subjective. That means it goes more by feelings, impressions, gut instinct rather than facts. The child in us is always trying to figure out why what happened, and usually overly interprets events to be about his or herself. This judgmentalness and the false meanings we make up cause much unnecessary suffering. If you can begin to recognize the judgmental thinking, that we grow up with this internal dialogue, the part that's wrapped up in our insecurities, then for now you can just label that and recognize it for what it is, coming from childhood beliefs and interpretations about why people have done to you what they did. Don't expect that sort of thinking to stop for now. It's not good or bad. Just continue to recognize this every chance you can. And when you do that, you're practicing aspects of mindfulness. The following are undeniable facts to remember when you're practicing mindfulness. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. We're all born without a manual. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone fails at some things. Bad things happen to everyone. No such thing as one person being more worthy or better than another. No one has a right to judge anyone else, except in a professional role such as a teacher or a judge. These facts also remind me to be less afraid of people judging me, and less judgmental and more compassionate towards others. When we stop being afraid of how others judge us, it really removes bonds and limitations that we've been imposing on ourselves. When we can see that trying to do something and failing, or even earning disapproval or disappointment doesn't mean we're, quote, a failure, close quote, we can actually turn around our thinking to the concept that if we don't fail at some things and make a few enemies in life, we're probably not putting ourselves out there to our fullest potential. I also don't want my listeners to now become a bunch of egotists. We all have greatness inside, the potential to leave a positive mark on others and on the planet. The more we are, quote, into ourself, close quote, is important, we risk building up our ego too much. Think about people you know with big egos. Perhaps they're really filled up with themselves. Many negatives, turns others off, hard to connect, and in my experiences in the field, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. We do want ego as in a healthy, integrated, functional person. We want our concept of ourself not too low and not too high. But when you think about it, in what ways is it healthy to think about ourself, and when is it unnecessary? You'll see if you follow TPM that most of the time it is unnecessary to think about your quote self, close quote, at all. In the bigger scheme of things, we're fairly insignificant. We have very limited power. In 100 or 1,000 years, what will be left of us? Our lives have no inherent meaning. We have no inherent rights. We were born without a plan for life, and we're just making it up as we go along. If any of us thinks we have inherent or special meaning or purpose, we're deluded, fooling ourselves and wasting time. This can also be very liberating. I don't have to please anyone else or live up to anyone else's expectations. I don't have to keep going round and round in circles trying to figure out the meaning of life or why I was born. Instead, I can focus on trying to make the most out of the life I have. I have to create my own purpose. I have to put the meaning into my life. When we consider our life in a finite way, limited in length, abilities, and influence, it does make us feel smaller. Imagine projecting yourself toward the end of your opportunity here on earth and ask, what will be important to me then? A life consumed by judgment, judging ourself, good or bad, strong or weak, normal or not, and being concerned about other people's judgments, is radically distracting. Opportunities go right by. You want to shake loose of your judging and not become too full of yourself. I see two ways to live. One is a life of judgment, motivated by our fears of negative judgments by others, motivated by guilt, having to be defensive, judgment and fear-driven. People are afraid to give up judgment and guilt. They may really believe that their worth is dependent on other people's judgment. This is what has motivated them their whole life. Stay out of trouble. Don't get embarrassed. Please people. Look good. There's a lot of anxiety and obsessing. In this world, the way of thinking, the rules go something like this. There are good people and bad people. You're adequate, okay, or not. Whether you're okay or not depends on other people's approval. And when you make a mistake, beat yourself up. But if I don't have to worry about other people judging me, if I don't beat myself up, then what will motivate me? Well, there's the alternative. It's a life that is values and passion driven. In this world, who I am is based on my values and my actions and what I create with my life. In this world, we're more in touch with the undeniable facts I listed above. We don't obsess about what people think about us because we won't please everyone, and instead we just work at being the best we can be. As a psychiatrist, it's very interesting that some medications, in particular the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, usually shift a person who is in the world of anxiety, insecurity, self-doubt, severe judgmentalness within about 3 weeks to the world of acceptance, non-judgment, and much less fear of the opinions of others. It's really a chemical thing. However, when the person goes off the medication, unless they've had some therapy, their thinking reverts to the fear-driven rules. Even just knowing that there's a different world of thinking, even though you may not be there yet, is a big step forward. Just try to imagine that there'll be a time when you won't worry much about what others think. You'll have a big space in your life and in your mind. This is to make room for your passions and your creativity. Values become the foundation. Mind gem number 5. The greatness you can be must always be balanced by a sense of humility.
Thanks for listening to The Potent Mind. If today's episode sparked insight or helped you refocus, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you care about. For more resources or to connect, visit thepotentmind.com. Until next time, be kind to your mind.